Organizing data. Once you've collected your data for an experiment, you'll need to organize it into tables and scatter plots. One such table is a table of values. A table of values is a table that usually has two columns. It looks something like this. The headings of the columns in the table of values are the variables that you have collected the data for. The first column is for the independent variable, and the second column is for the dependent variable. Here we see the two columns, independent variable and dependent variable. In this example, the temperature of the water depends on the amount of time it has been heated. This makes temperature the dependent variable, and time the independent variable. So we'll put them into our column. A table of values for Mary and Jason's data might look like the table above. Because the water for the hot chocolate is not ice when it is first heated, but rather it's 12.5 degrees Celsius, the temperature values in the table will start at 12.5, and we will include data for each minute. Since water boils at 100 degrees Celsius, we will stop including data points once the temperature reaches the boiling point. And you can see our table of values filled in above. Another useful way of organizing data is a scatter plot. We'll need to display the data on our scatter plot. So we have to make sure we have our table of values handy. We'll go ahead and show a scatter plot. The independent variable goes along the horizontal axis. Remember, that's the left-hand column of our table of values. That goes along the horizontal axis. Be sure to include units and a scale. And the dependent variable goes along the vertical axis. That's the up-down. And that's the right-hand column of our table of values, or our temperature. When you create a scatter plot, you want to pick a scale. Scale means count by ones for each square, or twos, or tens, etc. for each axis that will allow you to see all of the data points. That means you're trying to use as much of the area as possible, but you're not running out of room to plot all your data. We took our scale for our independent variable and put it along the horizontal axis. It seemed to fit quite nicely. Notice we went a little bit farther than we needed to. That's okay, and it's probably a good idea to leave a little bit of room to extend your data. And we also took our data points from our temperature and used those to set our scale for our vertical axes. Here we counted up by tens, and again we left a little bit of room to extend our data. Be sure to label each axis, including the units. So temperature was labeled with degrees Celsius and time was labeled with minutes. In consolidation, there are a variety of ways to collect data. Some of these ways include using a survey, using measuring tools, scientific probes, or the internet. Once you've collected your data from any of these methods, you'll need to organize it. You can do that using a table of values, which looks like this, or a scatter plot, which looks like this.